Hello everyone, Republic Jim here. As you can see, we've had a little snow recently and got my sled out. I'm doing a follow-up on this silly pop-up bubble shelter thing, seeing if the concept will work. And this time I'm going to try to get it staked out and see if I can get it all opened up correctly and get some lines on it. And then if that works, then I want to see what the actual dimensions of it are and if my folding cot will fit, and possibly even set up my emergency tarp on the back wall as a reflector and try to get a little fire going if I have time and the energy to do that. I'm a little worn out from shoveling snow today, so we'll see, but at the very least I want to try to set this shelter up properly. So I'll probably never get it back in the bag, but at least I have the thing here ready to go. I'm just going to stomp down some snow in this area to make some room so I can try to drive some auger stakes into the ground. And that right there is where our fire pit is, so I can always clear some snow out of the way and try to build a little fire there if I get to that point. But right now I'm just going to move the sled out of the way, stomp some snow down, and get rolling on this. Okay, I got 3 of the stakes in relatively well, or at least anchored in packed snow. I don't know if they're actually, I think this back one here is actually going into the ground, but I can't get that one to start at all. So I've just tried to pack snow around it. We'll see how well it holds. But now I'm going to attempt to pop this thing open, and we'll see how that goes. Well, it's opened up. Sorry I wasn't able to film that. I didn't bring my tripod, and I'm in a hurry trying to do this while I have daylight. As you can see, some of these rods there are bowing quite a bit and not really going out the way they're supposed to, but it is open. Now I need to see if I can get the door to zip closed, but got the top up here and it has the panels zip closed right now, so that's good. So next I need to try and straighten out those rods a little bit, get the door closed, and I want to get some actual dimensions on this thing and see if my cot will fit. So get back to you shortly. So this is a slight improvement. I remembered to tie out those lines, and that's helping hold it. That back one just pops in every time I put any pressure on anything else until I got it staked out, and that's holding it now. But clearly the front of it there is wider than the back. The back comes in pretty tight. So if I was going to get a cot in there, I'd have to lay right near the front door. And I've still only got the door partially closed. I'm trying to stretch it out slowly, and since the plastic is cold, give it a chance to stretch and get the thing closed without destroying the zippers. But I'm gonna get in there, take some measurements now, and then attempt to hang the tarp on the back part. And I'm thinking I'll probably just leave this thing set up overnight to see how well it holds up to a little bit of breeze and possibly rain or snow. So that's kind of the plan at this point. Of course, this thing's just lifting right off the ground with the tension on it, but it's staying put. This back rod has quite the bow in it, and I don't really have much confidence that it's going to hold up well. But here I am in this silly thing. I can actually lay down all the way, just barely. So I've got the tape in that front corner running across, and it is right at 6'1" or maybe 6'2" if I'm generous. Obviously the dimensions they claim are to the very maximum point here when the hub is pushed all the way out. The floor space is nowhere near that. And with it in that corner, or relatively close to that corner, it is just over 4 feet here. So pretty small space. And the back, as I said, is much narrower than the front. So looks like about 4'7" at the back. Quite lame. Definitely not as much as what I've been hoping for. But I can actually stand most of the way upright. It's about shoulder height. I have to hunch my head over. But a fair amount of room compared to most tents. It does have some storage pockets here, which is nice enough. And then it has these vent deals, which I guess would be handy when it's warmer, or if I was running a heater inside it or something. And I have no idea how this will do as far as condensation. But anyhow, I'm going to attempt to stretch the door out some more and try to zip it up most of the way, and I'll bring my cot in and give that a shot. So shockingly, there's just enough room for my cot in here, as I said, right near the front. And it goes pretty much from one side to the other, but it does give me that option anyway. I can set it up in here. Now I'm going to get out the emergency tarp and see about rigging up a reflector wall. And I might still have time to get a fire built out there and see what that does for the inside temperature. Well, there you have it. I got my reflector wall up. Had to get a little creative with tarp clips and ball bungees and stuff because there's not a lot of way to actually hang it. But there's proof positive that the unfolded cot does barely fit in there. And I'm currently showing it's about 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, of course now it's going up since I'm handling it. But now time to clear some snow out of the way and see if I can get a fire going on this mess, and then close this thing up and see how much heat transfer I get from that radiant heat coming off a fire. Okay, I have a good start on a fire now. It's going to take a little while to build it up to where it'll have much effect on the reflector here and, you know, actually work as a super shelter. But I'm going to get my headlamp and just come out here periodically and work at building that up and see if I can get a pretty good fire going. And then I'll, as it's cooling down outside, I'll see if it warms up inside in the shelter. Okay, it's about 4:30 now, or possibly a little after, and it is hanging right at freezing. And I've got the fire going pretty good. Still working at building it up a little more and putting bigger stuff in there, but that's about just like with that one sitting there next to it. Once I put that on, that's about all that I'm going to do for tonight. But just wanted to test it out. I actually, if I was going to be spending the night, I'd be making like a long log fire or a Siberian log fire, something more the width of the shelter, just to direct all that heat in that way. And I probably would do it a couple of feet closer because this is actually a little bit far away. But it certainly is reflecting off that back wall. How much of that is actually translating into heat inside there, I don't know yet. But I'm going to work just a little bit more on this fire and then hop inside and lay on the cot and check it out and see what it's like. So here's the view from inside. I did finally get the zipper done up. It helps when there's a little bit more heat, so I just kept working at it and eventually got it closed and got my boots off, climbed in here. Let's see where we're at currently. Yeah, currently above 40 degrees and steadily climbing. If I could get the darn thing to stay. Yeah, it was right at 40 when I got in here. And now it's above. It's not warming up extremely quickly, but it's certainly having some effect. And I'm sure as that fire grows that I'll be feeling more heat coming in on this, reflecting off this. Like I said, if that was closer, it would have more effect. But one lovely thing about this is that I don't get any of the smoke from it, regardless of which way the wind blows. So, kind of like that. And got that lid on top that also has reflective surface. So that'll help keep the warmth in somewhat as this thing warms up. So, yeah, it appears that the concept is at least plausible. Yeah, it's warming up now. Can't get this thing to focus on it, but it is actually getting up close to 50. So, yeah, the fire is getting bigger. I'm getting a lot more radiant heat there to transfer through this thing. And this transparent wall here does let it do that. Hopefully, as it's out like this, it'll have a chance to relax and get some of the wrinkles out, so it'll actually be more transparent and let that heat come through. But yeah, it appears that the concept of that reflector on the enclosed envelope of plastic is working just the same as a more primitive, improvised super shelter. So, yeah, I'm pleased with that. And even though it's a tight fit to get the cot in, it is really comfortable having that. So, not a whole lot of room back behind here to put any of my gear, and there's just barely room on this side to put my feet down there when I'm zipping and unzipping the door. But it works. I think I would need to leave my pack and other things underneath a tree or some sort of waterproof cover and just have myself and my immediate necessities in here. But yeah, seems doable. a little bit of hassle with the setup, but I think as I use it a few more times, it'll pop open and close with less hassle. Now I know how to do the auger stakes and what the secret is to getting all this put up, so I think I can make it work. I'll be doing a overnight sometime relatively soon, and we'll see how that goes. But that's it for now. I'm happy with this follow-up on the original video I did. This one is far more successful. And well, I'll wrap it up for now. This has been Republic Jim. I'll talk to you later.